Hello guys, Robert1 here, and today I am doing a little theory video for you guys. And this kind of entails with the next anime, the next summoning method. Really, it's to do with the next summoning method, as I just said. But yeah, so I was thinking, like, obviously we're gonna have another Yu-Gi-Oh series coming up soon. Obviously, it's gonna have a new summoning method. And I was thinking, what could Konami do for the next summoning method? And I was rattling it around in my brain, on and on and on and on. And I just thought, what summoning methods have we had already? Well, we've got the normal summon, obviously. I chose Dark Magician because why the hell not? We have Fusion Summon, Flame Wingman, Stardust Synchro Summon, XC Summon, and Pendulum Summon. So, what do these summons have in common? Well, what do they have? What makes them different? Well, normal summons, you can just place them on the board, or you have to tribute summon for them, which is essentially the same thing. Like, tribute summoning is you need multiple monsters to sacrifice, as you know. So, like, you got a level 7, you need 2, or 7 or higher, you need 2, 6 or 5, you need 1, so on and so forth. If it's level 4 or lower, you can just normal summon it without any tributes. But that's like the first summoning method, though, so that's the pretty basic. Then we move on to fusion summoning. Fusion summoning was you needed polymerization to make this big monster, so you essentially needed 2 different monsters to make it, and like you needed a fusion spell card. So it needed a specific card to make it. Obviously, that's not the case today. There's a lot of inherent summon fusions, and also mask changes with the masked hero stuff. But yeah, so we had polymerization fusions. Then we had synchros that required a specific type of monster, a tuner monster, and the exact levels to make a synchro monster. So you needed like a level 3 tuner and a level 5 non-tuner monster, or a level 4 tuner and a level 4 non-tuner monster, so on and so forth, math, to make this big white card, or silver card, I don't know. Then we had XC summoning, which needed 2 of the same level monsters. So basically that. And then finally we had Pendulum Summon, which created new zones for the actual mat itself, and the dual disc and all of that, meaning you had to have the 2 different scales of like a 1 and an 8 to pendulum summon anything from 2 to 7. So, like, these have been the summoning methods that we've gained over the years, obviously the latest one being Pendulum here. But my thought process is, what could the next summoning method be? And through all of these summoning methods, there's one method that hasn't really had a lot of impact. Like, we haven't really had a summoning method revolved around banishing. And obviously I'm not counting ABC Dragon Buster or the Ritual Beast, because those are fusion monsters. Like, those are fusion summoned. Those are special summons, but they're fusion monsters, so they don't really go into what I'm thinking here. So for this certain type of summoning method, I was thinking that you could use the banish zone in a way. So first of all, I had 2 different ideas. Like, you could create a new extra deck monster, where obviously you put it in the extra deck, all's fine and good. If you did this, you would have to increase the extra deck space, obviously, because more extra deck monsters means we need more space to actually put them in. The color of the card I was thinking could be orange, because like we have brown, we have yellow, we have purple, we have black, so, and we have green and we have purple. So I was thinking like orange, like you could have orange. So yeah. But I was thinking you could have either like an extra deck space, or for this summoning method, which incorporates the banish zone, to summon with, I was thinking you could use the banish zone as where you keep these monsters. So it would actually encourage Konami to put a certain zone for the banish monsters on the field. So what I'm getting at is, you could use the banish zone, have say like, I don't know, 5 of these special monsters that you could have in the banish zone, and you could use the banish zone as essentially like an extra deck. Obviously, it's better to just put them in the extra deck, but this is just like something I was thinking, and like the method you could use with this, like, think of it like this. We've had a ton of different monsters in the game. Like, we've had DD Warrior Lady, we've had DD Crow, all these DD monsters that have gone to the the banish zone, and come back with new suits. Well, I was thinking, like, this could even incorporate into the duel terminal world. Like, they could incorporate this for the next saga of the duel terminal. As in, any creature that is sent to the banish zone meets these special beings, these special deities, if you want to call them that, where like they gain specific powers from these beings, and in return, these beings send them back to the original dimension, which is obviously your deck, your monster zones, your extra deck, your side deck, extra deck, all that stuff, and you can use this specific, and they come back. But like the DD War, like all the monsters that have come back from the different dimension all have banish effects. So DD Warrior Lady has the effect when she destroys a monster or battles a monster, they're both banished, so they're both sent to the different dimension. DD Crow, discard the card, banish a card from the graveyard. There's another one that I can't remember. It's another DD monster, like 1700 attack. I think its effect is when it destroys a monster, is banished instead. Like, any monster that has been sent to the banish zone has come back with these certain abilities. So, like, these creatures, these deities, whatever you want to call them, could be like special beings that have been locked away in the different dimension. Like, they could have been locked away, sealed in the different dimension, and like they're chained up, they're trapped there, and they're trying to come back. So, like, these beings could be just stuck there, and like every card that their emissaries from the different dimension sends to them gives them power to try and return to their normal dimension, say the duel terminal world. So yeah, that's just like the method I was thinking it could incorporate into the duel terminal. So yeah, we kind of went off topic. Like that's just why I think it could do to incorporate with the duel terminal series, because like it's a new summoning method, so I was thinking it could be really incorporated into that as well. But yeah, nonetheless, let's carry on with what the summoning method is itself. Well, so what we've had so far, as I've said, we've had Tribute, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and we've had Pendulum. So my thought behind this is that we could use this. This is going to be called, in my opinion, like, it doesn't have to be called this, but Banishment Summon. Like, Banishment, just hear me out. Banishment Summon, it's essentially the way you summon these banished monsters is you've got to do, like I said, banish monsters to summon them. So instead of actually keeping them on the board, you banish the monsters, but there's a hitch. The monsters you banish have to be the same type, because what we've had so far with something like Xyz is the same level. So my thought process was that we could use the same sort of tactic, but they have to be the same type or attribute or something similar to that, and you just basically banish these 2 monsters or 3 monsters or whatever to the banish zone, and then they come back, and then you bring out this banishment summoned monster, because this guy is from the banished zone, the different dimension. So, right, and also, like, it may seem a bit broken, But, like, hear me out. Like, there's also another thing I was thinking that is kind of really broken, but after it's also, the levels, these monsters, they don't have levels. Like, these monsters don't have levels, they don't have ranks. They just have a clean slate, no stars whatsoever. Because they don't exist in the dimension of Xyz, the dimension of Synchro, dimension of Fusion, dimension of Pendulum, none of that. They exist in the different dimension, so they don't have any level whatsoever. Like, they're just a non-existent. And how they stay on the board is the levels of the monsters that you banished, keep them on for that many turns. So, for say, if you use a level 4 and a level 8, a level 2, the monster stays on the board for 6 turns. Or if you use 2 stars per turn or 3 stars, like, it doesn't matter. The fact is, these monsters stay on the board for those amount of turns, for the stars that were made with it. So that's another sort of thought process in my mind. Another thing that I was thinking, if this method is incorporated into Banishment Summon, is when the monster leaves the field, essentially goes to the graveyard or is banished back. Like, I haven't thought all the way ahead. Like, I don't know if the monster would be rebanished like face up, so you can't summon it again, or like something like that. But when the monster leaves the field, it brings back a monster, one of the materials used to summon it. But it gains one additional effect. So the effect it can gain is... Oh, and these things isn't summon. This isn't summon. They return back from the banish zone. One of them returns back. So my thought process behind this is it gains an effect that gives it a banishment effect. So, say like this monster is destroyed by battle. That the monster at the end of the turn, the monster that destroyed this card by battle is banished, or any card this card destroys is banished. Like something like that. Like, it's just a thought. It doesn't actually have to be put into the summoning method, but I just thought that this method would be really interesting. So, like, if this doesn't obviously is just a theory, you don't actually have to take it into account. But from what I've seen in Yu-Gi-Oh, they have never incorporated a certain summoning method to the banished zone. Fusion is meant to be a polymerization, so the ABCs and Ritual Beasts don't really count in this retrospect. But what I'm saying is, like, these monsters, these are like different sort of monsters, and it's just an interesting idea in my head. Like, the summoning method is quite interesting in my opinion. Like, I kept thinking about this idea in my head around and round and round and round. But yeah, guys, what do you think of the banishing summoning method? Do you think that Banishment Summon is a good idea? Do you think it's broken? What do you think? Do you guys think it's a good idea? Do you guys think it's absolutely broken? And yeah, as always, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. RobotBat1.